Hi there, John, Brampton runner here. I just thought to do a quick update for you today because I've not really spoken to you properly since the Windsor Half Marathon and the end of Project PB. Just out down Brampton Way today, walking Millie the dog. She's only 7 months old, so she's not old enough to go running with me yet, but she will become running with me in the future when she gets a bit older. So looking back at Project PB, I think in hindsight it kind of went as expected. I started off at the Bedford Half Marathon, getting a time which was a little bit slower than the time I got last year at Bedford. And generally the training month, doing all the same training, I was either around about the same or just behind where I was last year in the month of September with my training. And so it's not a massive surprise, I suppose, going into the Windsor Half Marathon, that my time was a couple of minutes slower than when I got my PB last year at Windsor. I certainly gave it my best shot, I tried really hard, but I think it all boils down to the fact that my fitness level is probably not quite as good as it was at that point last year, and that was reflected in the result really. But it was certainly an interesting experiment to see how it went, and I was happy with my time at Windsor. It's my second best half marathon time. So after the Windsor Half Marathon, I had a few days off and I got back into training, MAF training obviously, and I did my MAF test last week. I'm happy to say I got an improvement of 4 minutes and 21 seconds over where I was in September with the MAF test. And I'll pop that data on screen for you now if you want to have a look at it. And I have to say I'm really happy with that. I think a combination of consistent training and who knows, maybe doing the race at the end of September, a bit of speed work there, may all contributed there, I don't know. But it was a good result anyway. And it gives me confidence going forward into my next couple of races coming up. And the first of them is actually coming up this, right, so I'll jump in. And the first one that I've got coming up this week is on Sunday, and that's the Yorkshire Marathon. So going into the Yorkshire Marathon, this is an event I've done twice before. I did it back in 2016 when it was my first marathon, and I was doing in 2017. In 2016 I think I got a time of about 5 hours and 1 minute. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it's just over 5 hours. And in 2017, I got what was at the time a PB for marathon distance, and that was 4:51. My PB at the moment for marathon distance is 4:39. But I'm not really going for time in that race this year because I've got another marathon coming up in a couple of weeks. It's a fireworks marathon, it's called. It's an event in Milton Keynes and run by Nigman running. I did one of the races in the summer. That was when I did my first 50k. I did a video on that, and if you fancy checking that one out, I'll link it above for you so you can go and have a look. So not really going for time in the Yorkshire Marathon this weekend. Anything under 5 hours would be good. And obviously, if I did get a PB or anything like that, that'd be great. But I'm not going to be chasing it because I don't want to get injured or anything like that, because I've got another marathon coming up in a couple of weeks. Okay, just coming up to the tunnel there. Now, if you watch my videos for a while, you'll know that Brampton Way is an old disused railway line, and it's got two tunnels on it, and this is one of them. It's Calmash Tunnel, and it's 480 metres in length, and yeah, lots of cyclists and runners come here, and yeah, it's a great place to train. Well, this is our turnaround point now, so I'm not going through the tunnel today. Hello! And yeah, so we've got the two marathons coming up in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll be able to get some footage of the Yorkshire Marathon this weekend if the weather holds out. I think last time I looked at it, it was going to be okay, so hopefully I'll get some good footage of that for you. And so if you like this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already subscribed for regular running related content. And if you're a long-term subscriber, thanks very much for sticking with me. If there's anyone new here, thanks for coming on board. And if you want to check out how I'm getting on the race of the weekend on Instagram as well, I'll probably be documenting it because that's where I'm most active on social media. So yeah, check it out there if you're not already following me on Instagram. But that's it for now, so I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye now.